What's going on, guys? It's Panjno here, and today I'm going to bring you guys the Ultimate FPS increase guide for Conan Exiles. Conan Exiles recently launched out of the early access program inside of Steam and has hit the Steam store under a full release. With this has come a lot of updates to the game, especially whilst it was in its early access stage, including performance updates and other issues that plagued the game during early development. The main reason I've held off from doing this video for this game for so long is mainly due to it coming out of early access and fully releasing on Steam. I didn't want to get in the way of any optimizations that the developers might have pushed to the game, or release a video that could be obsolete within a matter of weeks. So here is the Ultimate FPS increase guide for Conan Exiles. This guide is here to make sure you guys are getting the best experience possible, regardless of the sort of machine you might be playing on. Whether you're playing on a brand new ultra high-end gaming PC, or you're playing on an old rubbish laptop, this video aims to get you guys the best performance possible for the most enjoyable experience possible, whilst maintaining some good graphic fidelity. As always, guys, you can always customize the options within inside of the game, and pick and choose which of the steps you wish to follow in this video, but please do bear in mind that your results may vary, depending on what you do decide to change. For the best results possible though, I do recommend following this guide completely. If you guys do like this video and are happy with the results, please do press that like button as it helps out tremendously. Like and share this video around with any friends, family, teammates, or anyone you might be playing Conan Exiles with that could benefit from these performance increases. And if you guys do like content like this and you wish to stay up to date with up-to-date guides, new guides for new games, general PC maintenance, or guides you guys can feel free to suggest in the comments, please do subscribe to the channel and press that bell notification to be notified whenever I do upload. And lastly, for any of my frequent followers out there, my Patreon link is also down in the description down below. If you wish to further support me on there, it will be deeply appreciated, but no donations are necessary, and that is just an option there for you guys who frequently follow my content and wish to help me out in any way possible, for anyone who wishes to do so. Right, so starting, go ahead and do is navigate into the description down below and download the Conan Exiles FPS increase pack at one of the two links down below. If the primary link doesn't work or you can't download it from that link for some reason, try the link down below it and you should be good to go. Once you've then downloaded the file should be on your desktop or wherever you downloaded it to, and it should look very similar to this. Now, to open this file, what you guys need to go ahead and do is right click on the file and go to extract here. If you do not have the option to extract here, you're going to need to take yourself over to Google and Google search either 7-zip or WinRAR. Install either of those programs. You don't have to have both, just one of them. Install them to your PC, come back here, and you should be able to open up these files. Right click on the file, go to extract here. Once you've then hit extract here, you should find a folder with the exact same name on your desktop. Then just double click to go inside of the folder, and within inside of the folder you'll find you've got a game files folder, optimizations folder, credits.txt and launchoptions.txt. Within inside of the game files folder, it's self-explanatory, you'll find the game files. Inside of the optimizations folder you can find a few optimizations we're going to be doing later on in the video to ensure that our operating system is completely optimized. And the credits.txt is just a text file linking you guys to the original sources of any applications or modifications that are being used inside of this video, so you can go and pay credit over towards the original authors. And last but not least, the launch options is just a text document to show you guys which are the best launch options for the game. Right, so starting off and keeping this video as fast and as to the point as possible, and what we're going to be doing is starting off by installing the custom launch options. So to do this, go into the FPS pack provided, double click, and go to the launchoptions.txt by double clicking. With inside of there, you'll then find that you have these launch options here. Now we've just got to do some slight modifications to these launch options depending on what your system specs are like. So what we're going to be changing is where it says -preferred processor, and it says 6 here, we're actually going to be changing this number depending on your system. So to do this, simply go ahead and navigate to the bottom of your system, right click on your taskbar and go to Task Manager. Once you're inside of Task Manager, simply go up to the Performance tab found here at the top, then go ahead and click on CPU, and then within inside of here you need to scroll down to the right hand side, and you'll then notice that there is a tab within inside of here called Logical Processors. As you can see, mine says Logical Processors 6, and that is why my launch options here are set to Preferred Processor 6. So what we're going to be doing is actually matching the logical processors number on your machine, which is more than likely going to be different to mine, and we're going to be matching that with the number found here. So if you guys have 2 logical processors, 4, 6, 8, you might have way more, you might have way less. Regardless of what the number is under logical processors, you're going to want to input that number over here. So again, for me that is 6, but my other PC is actually 8. But for this PC, mine is 6, so I'm going to be inputting 6. And once that's then done, you've got yours customized. Simply go ahead and drag all the way from the right hand side to the left hand side, just like so. Right click and hit copy. What you can then do at that point, you can actually exit out of the launch options and hit don't save. You can then exit out of your taskbar, and then what we can go ahead and do is actually navigate down to Steam. With inside of Steam, go ahead and right click on Conan Exiles, go down to Properties. Then we're going to be going over to the Set Launch Options tab within inside of here and clicking it once. Once you guys have hit that tab, what you guys need to go ahead and do is click on this text box down here, right click and hit paste. Should look very similar to that. If it does, all you guys then need to go ahead and do is hit OK. What I also like to do is actually disable the Steam overlay whilst in game. This can also help reduce any stuttering or any issues that you might be getting from in-game overlays. I personally like to turn it off, but if you do find that you do use the Steam overlay a lot whilst in game, whether that's to text type to other Steam friends, you might want to keep this enabled. But for anyone who's not bothered by it, just like me, go ahead and uncheck this box here for enable Steam overlay whilst in game. Then what you guys can go ahead and do is hit close. Moving on from there, what we're going to be doing is applying some application fixes to the game.exe files themselves to ensure that Windows is running them in an optimized rate. So to do this, what we're going to be doing is navigating over to Steam again, right-clicking on Conan Exiles, going down to Properties. This time we're going to be going up to the Local Files tab found here at the top. Once you're inside of there, then go ahead and hit Browse Local Files. With inside of here, you'll then notice that you have a Conan Sandbox application found here. What we're going to be doing is right-clicking on the Conan Sandbox, going down to Properties, going to the Compatibility tab found here at the top, and then we're then going to be looking for an option called Disable Full Screen Optimizations. Go ahead and check that option just by clicking on the tick box. Once it's then ticked, go down and press Apply, and press OK. What you can then go ahead and do is exit out. You can then exit out of the Properties tab and minimize Steam. Proceeding on from there, what we're now going to be doing is inputting our custom optimized game files. So to do this is actually very simple, and there's a lot of customization behind this. So to start off with this step, what you guys need to go ahead and do is go into the FPS pack provided again by double clicking. Go to the game files folder this time, and you'll be met with 4 folders. Within inside of these folders, you'll find the configs for the high-end, low-end game settings, medium-end, and ultra. Do bear in mind though, once you install any of these configs, you can customize your in-game settings as well. So you guys can actually go ahead and install the low-end config and maybe bump up some of the settings in-game to make it look a little bit nicer. And the option is there for you guys to customize it if you wish to do so. Now, deciding on which config we're going to be using, you're going to want to be going off of how much of an FPS increase you want and what sort of system specs you have. If you guys are running on a high-end gaming PC and you just want a slight FPS increase, I recommend going with the high-end config. If you guys are on a high-end PC but you want a really big FPS increase, you could go to either low or medium. But for any of you guys who are just looking for the simplest config and you just want a nice FPS increase without deteriorating from your graphics that much, I recommend matching your config to your system specs. So for me, the PC I'm recording this on is my high-end PC, and next to me I actually have my low-end PC. So for this PC, I normally install the high-end config, and the other PC I install the low-end config. I'm personally going to be installing the low-end config on this PC. I know that contradicts what I just said, because I personally want the best FPS possible. So go ahead, click on whichever of these configs you wish to use, double click on the folder for any one of them you're going to be using, and then inside of there you'll then be met with 4 game files, which should be called Default Engine, Default Game User Settings, Default Input, and Default Scalability. Now what we're going to be doing to install these is just to minimize this folder, then we're going to be going down to Steam once again, right-clicking on Conan Exiles again, going down to Properties. This time we're going to be going to the Local Files tab found here at the top, and selecting Browse Local Files. Then within inside of here, we're then going to be going into the Conan Sandbox folder. Then within inside of there, going into the Config folder. And then within inside of there, you'll then notice that all of your default game files are found inside of here. Now what you guys want to go ahead and do is drag this folder off to the side, go back to the folder which has your optimized game files in. What we're going to be doing is simply going ahead, selecting all 4 of those files, dragging them over into the game files, and hitting replace the files in this destination. Once you guys have gone ahead and done that, you can exit out of both the folders and your custom game files are now installed. And that is it for the game specific optimizations. For the rest of this video, I'm going to be going through some operating system specific optimizations to ensure that we're getting the best FPS, not just on Conan Exiles, but pretty much every single game and application you're running on your PC. Performing some basic system maintenance and doing some tweaks to be sure you guys are getting the best and most optimized experience with inside of Windows and all the games in which you are playing. I highly recommend you guys stick around and watch the rest of this video and apply these tweaks as well, as the optimizations here are pretty much just as powerful as the game application ones, and if you put the game specific and operating specific optimizations together, you guys should be seeing some fantastic results. So going off of that and starting off with the operating specific optimizations, what we're going to be doing is starting off by ensuring that Windows is actually running on the correct power mode for your PC to ensure it's utilizing and not throttling any of your applications in terms of power. So to check this and optimize it, it's very simple. Simply navigate to the bottom left hand side and type in power. Once you guys have typed in power, simply find any of the battery little icons here with the cord going around it. Doesn't matter which one it is, just as long as it has this icon found here, you can just simply go ahead and click on it. Then when you're inside of there, go to the power options tab found here at the top, then go down to the drop down menu which says show additional plans, and then within inside of there you should be seeing a high performance power plan. Once you guys have found it, simply go ahead and check it just like that, so you've now enabled it. Then we're going to be going to change plan settings here on the right hand side. Now these 2 options here can be set to whichever you wish to do so. They are personal preference and do not change the outcome of this guide. So you guys can set these and apply these however you wish to do so. Once you guys have set them, go down to the change advanced power settings found here. Then within inside of here, we're then going to be going to hard disk, turn off hard disk after, going over to the minutes section, which is usually set to 20 if you haven't been in here before. Double click on the blue number and then within inside of there, set it to 0. Go ahead and press apply. Scroll all the way down and then go to the processor power management tabs, click on it once, go to minimum processor state and maximum processor state, and ensure that they are both set to 100%. If they are not, simply go ahead and double click on the number, set it to 100, then go ahead and press apply, and then once you're done with inside of there, you can then go ahead and press OK, save changes, and you can then exit out of the power options. And then another basic Windows optimization we can apply, it's very simple and fast to do. We're going to be going to the bottom left hand side this time, typing in this PC. Then when this icon here shows up, right click on this PC, go down to Properties. Then with inside of here, we're going to be navigating to the left hand side and going to Advanced System Settings. Once you're inside of the Advanced tab, go to the Performance tab found here and click on Settings. Once you guys are inside of there, it will usually be set to let Windows choose what's best for my computer under the Visual Effects tab. What we're going to be doing is hitting Custom. Then with inside of there, we're then going to proceed to uncheck every single option with inside of here, just by simply going ahead and clicking on the boxes and making sure they're all unchecked. And the only two we're going to be re-enabling are Smooth Edges of Screen Fonts and Show Thumbnails instead of icons. Everything else just deteriorates from performance and is completely unnecessary, and for the majority of you guys, you shouldn't even notice these being turned off with inside of Windows. I personally also like to turn off Smooth Edges of Screen Fonts, as that is a personal preference. You guys can go ahead and do this as well if you wish to do so, but I recommend everyone keeps this on, as your text will look a lot rougher like my text is now. If you do want that, you can go ahead and turn that off as well. Once you guys have got that set, simply go ahead and hit apply. And then once those options have then been applied, simply go to the Advanced tab at the top, go to Processor Scheduling, and make sure Processor Scheduling is set to adjust best performance of programs. Then go down and hit apply, and hit OK, and then OK once again. Proceeding on from there, what we're now going to be doing is actually applying a Windows sound fix to ensure that Windows is running in a completely native sound mode, so it doesn't put any excess load on your CPU or cause any issues with stuttering with game files. This should help reduce any stuttering you might be experiencing in game, and can eliminate any of those issues. So to do this, what we're going to be doing is navigating to the bottom right hand side, going to your little speaker icon, right clicking and hitting Sounds. Once you guys have gone ahead and done that, go to the playback device found here at the top left, click on playback, and then with inside of here you then need to identify what you're using to listen to this video and play your games. So your sound output device. For me it's going to be my speakers found here. It will typically be the icon which has the green tick next to it. Yours might be different to mine, but whenever you find it, you should have the green tick next to it and you should be seeing the audio levels bouncing up and down here. Once you guys have found your audio output device, simply go ahead and right click on it, go down to Properties. Then we're going to be going up to the Enhancements tab found here at the top. Now before we apply any of the audio fixes with inside of this step, I'm going to let you guys know now that once you apply these, some people's sound might actually cut out and you won't be able to hear this video anymore, or any other audio on your PC. If this does happen, it's a very simple fix. It's close out of any programs which are actually putting out audio. Whether that be Google Chrome, Spotify, Steam, if you can't hear something, close out the program, open it back up, and you'll be completely good to go and your sound will be back to normal. Might only happen for a couple of you out there, but if you're changing your sound settings whilst listening to sounds, Windows tends to just cut that out and do a restart. So all you guys need to go ahead and do is just close out of those programs and open them back up. With that being said, once you're in the Enhancements tab, go to Disable All Sound Effects and make sure that has then been checked. Once that's then been checked, go down and press apply. And then once that's been applied, we're then going to be going to the top again, going to the Advanced tab this time, going to Default Format, going to the drop down menu with inside of here, and then we're going to be scrolling all the way up to the top until you find the option for 16-bit, 44,100Hz CD quality. Once you guys have found that, go ahead and check it. Then all you guys need to go ahead and do is go to apply in the bottom right hand side. Once it's been applied, go ahead and press OK and OK. Now as simple as that, we've actually gone ahead and optimized our sound with inside of Windows. Following on from there, we're now going to be applying an optimization found with inside of the FPS Increase pack. So go ahead to your desktop, go into the FPS Increase pack, go to the optimizations folder, and with inside of here you'll find the setup for CPU core parking version 2110. Now this program here basically allows you guys to go ahead and actually unpark any CPU cores that might be parked with inside of Windows, and you're probably wondering what that is. Now what Windows typically does by default, it will reserve around about 20 to 40% of your CPU depending on what you're doing for other tasks running in the background to ensure that everything is being shared equally and everything can run smoothly. But you'll more than likely run into issues with having this enabled, especially for you guys when you're playing games. You'll notice that your CPU usage in games can vary from around about 15% all the way up to 90% depending on what's going on. So the reason we're going to be unparking all of our CPU cores will actually allow Windows to push 100% of our CPU power towards certain programs to make sure everything is running smoothly and there is no excess power being held back. I highly recommend that everyone does this watching this video, and I personally apply this optimization to every single one of my PCs regardless of what they're for. So to use this program, it's very simple. Go to the CPU core parking setup, double click on it. Once you guys have clicked on it, you'll then be greeted with the setup wizard for the program. Go ahead and press next. Accept the terms to the license agreement found here and press next again. Press next to install it to the default location and then press install. Once the program has then been installed, make sure that launch CPU core parking 3.exe is selected there at the bottom and press finish. After a few moments, the program will then open up and it will look somewhat similar to this, but your values will be different to mine. So to set this program up properly, depending on what your system is like, we're going to be going ahead to the power data plan found here at the top, we're going to be going to that drop down menu and selecting high performance, as that is the power plan we've now set with inside of Windows. With inside of there, we're then going to start off by going to the core parking index, which basically is the amount of CPU cores that Windows can park. We're going to be switching this all the way up to 100%, so we get 100% of the utilization as and when we need it. We're then going to be going over to the frequency scaling index, which is the speed of those cores, ensuring that we can use 100% of the speed of those cores by dragging it all the way up to 100%. And then last but not least, we're going to be going down to turbo boost index, which is the speed in which Windows can actually turbo boost those cores up to. We're going to be switching this all the way up to 100%, so we can get 100% utilization at 100% of the speed as and when your game might need it. This doesn't mean that your CPU will go up to 100% usage all the time just with inside of Windows. It shouldn't change anything noticeably to anyone in terms of heat or anything like that. What this basically does is it just allows your CPU to be used 100% of the time if Windows requires it. This should help a ton with any of you guys who are having stuttering issues with inside a game and are getting sluggish movements with inside of Windows. Once you guys have gone ahead and set those changes, simply go down and press apply. It'll then notify that the changes have successfully been applied, then go ahead and press OK, and then you guys can go ahead and exit out of the program. Now for one of the last steps inside of this video, we're actually going to be going ahead and optimizing Windows to prioritize gaming applications over other applications within inside of the operating system. Now this step might look a little bit confusing, so don't worry if you guys have to come back to this step a couple of times and rewatch it, or put the video on half speed. I might sound like I'm drunk, but it should help you guys follow along if you're a little bit confused. So to do this, what we're going to be doing is navigating to the bottom left hand side and typing in run. Once you guys have typed in run, go ahead and press enter. Then this box here will then open up. With inside of this box, we're then going to be typing in reg edit, just like so. Once that's then been typed in, go ahead and press enter again. And then with inside of here, you'll then notice that the Windows registry editor has now opened up. With inside of here, we're then going to be going over to the HK local machine folder, double clicking on HK local machine, then going down to software and double clicking on software, then going down to the Microsoft folder with inside of here, double clicking on Microsoft. And if you guys are wondering how to get to this directory or you get confused at any point with inside of here, you can always look at the top here and you'll see the directory I'm in. Once you guys are inside of the Microsoft folder, we're then going to be scrolling all the way down to the W section and going to Windows NT. Double click on Windows NT, double click on current version, and then with inside of here, we're then going to be looking for a folder called multimedia. Go ahead and double click on multimedia, and this time we're going to be going ahead and clicking on system profile once. Once you guys have clicked on system profile once, you'll then see these two registry keys appear here on the right hand side called network throttle index and system responsiveness. Now what we're going to be doing here is inputting some custom values, starting off with network throttling index. So go ahead and double click on network throttling index. Inside of here, we're then going to be going ahead and highlighting any value that might already be there for you guys, going ahead and removing whatever it is or whatever it says, and we're going to be setting this to 7 Fs. So simply go over to the F key and hit it 7 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Once you guys have gone ahead and done that, make sure that the base is set to hexadecimal, just like so, and then press OK. We're then going to be going ahead and going to system responsiveness by double clicking, removing any value that might already be in there, and we're going to be setting the value with inside of here to 0. Make sure again that the base is set to hexadecimal, and then press OK. Once you guys have gone ahead and edited those two keys there, we're going to be going back down to the system profile folder, and this time we're going to be double clicking on it. Once you guys have double clicked on system profile, go to tasks, and then finally go into the games folder. With inside of here, you'll then notice that a bunch of registry keys have opened up, and we're only going to be editing a couple of these. Starting off with the GPU priority key. Double click on GPU priority, remove any data value that's inside of there, and input the data value of 8. Once you guys have put in 8, make sure it's set again to hexadecimal, and press OK. Proceeding on from there, go into the priority key, again removing any value data that's inside of there, and this time we're going to be inputting the value of 6. Once that's then been input, go ahead and press OK. And last but not least, we're then going to be going over to the scheduling category key found here and double clicking. Again, removing any value data which is inside of there. This will typically say medium. So then just remove that and then replace it with HIGH, which is high, and then go ahead and press OK. Once you're then done with inside of there, we can then go ahead and exit out of the registry editor, as the registries that we're going to edit have now been optimized. And then one of the last steps with inside of this video, we're actually going to be going ahead and applying some basic system maintenance and system cleanup to ensure that we can go ahead and free up any excess hard drive space that's being used, removing any excess caching files, dumping files, or any excess rubbish in which is being stored by Windows, taking up your hard drive or SSD space, and slowing it down. So to do this is actually very simple. Simply go down to the bottom left hand side, go ahead and type in %appdata%, just like so, and then go ahead and press enter. Once you guys have gone ahead and done that, go to the app data folder found here at the top. Once you guys have clicked on that data, then go ahead to the local folder by double clicking, scrolling all the way down then until you find a folder inside of there called temp or TEMP. Once you guys have found that folder, simply go ahead and double click on it. And then inside of there, this folder is going to be filled with caching files and dump files, which has just been left here by Windows. You can think of this as basically a huge recycling bin for any data processed by programs or generated by programs within inside of Windows. So what we're actually going to be doing is going ahead from the top to the bottom, making sure that we highlight everything within inside of here, highlighting everything, right clicking and going ahead and pressing delete. Once you guys have done that, you'll then be notified that the action cannot be completed for all folders and files. That's fine, just simply go ahead and hit do this for all current items and hit skip. You will then notice that not every file inside of here has actually been removed, and that's because the only files remaining within inside of here are the only ones being used by your operating system. Everything else within inside of this folder was either an excess caching file, dump file, or just excess rubbish which has been dumped here by other programs and left to sit for who knows how long. Depending on how old your Windows installation is, stuff within inside of this folder can be months, if not even years old, and the size of this folder can be absolutely huge depending on how old the folder was. I think the most I've ever heard from the comment section down below was around about 80 or 90 gigabytes someone removed from here, which is absolutely insane if it's true. If you guys can let me know how much you managed to remove from this folder in the comment section down below, that'd be fantastic as we can get a good discussion going on down there. I typically manage to remove around about 2 gigabytes out of this folder every single time I do it, and I do it multiple times a month. Following on from that step, what I also like to do is to finish it off with going over to my recycling bin on my desktop, right clicking and hitting empty recycling bin and pressing yes. Once you're then done with inside of there, you guys can then go ahead and exit out of the temp folder. We're now going to be going ahead and actually restarting our machines. To do this, we're going to be going to the bottom left hand side, right clicking on our power button and going to the restart option. Reason we're going to be doing this is to apply all of the optimizations we applied earlier on to ensure that we're on a brand new boot of Windows and everything has been successfully applied to your system and we're ready to go. Welcome back to the video, guys. You should have now restarted your systems. Come back to the video and we should be good to go with the last step. And the last step inside of here is to go into the FPS increase pack provided one last time, go to the optimizations folder, and inside of here you'll then find an application called timer resolution. What we're going to be doing is simply going ahead and dragging that onto our desktop just like so, and you'll be given a program that looks very similar to this. What this program here basically allows you to do is to set the lowest amount of input latency between the operating system, hardware within inside of your system, and the game files themselves. It's not dangerous, it's not risky to use, and you won't get banned for doing it. And I personally use this program for pretty much everything to ensure that I can get the best performance on my PC. Whether that be for video editing, whether it be within inside of Photoshop, whether it be playing Counter-Strike or Conan, whatever it is you're playing, I recommend using this program. The benefits from using this program, especially whilst playing games, you should be seeing a lower input lag time, a lower frame time, less stuttering, and an overall higher amount of frames per second. So to use this program, it's actually very simple. You just simply go ahead, click on it before you're about to play your game or your application. So you double click and you'll be given the program that's just like this. Then with inside of here, you guys want to then navigate to the bottom left and hit maximum, which sets the lowest value possible for your PC. Then all you guys need to go ahead and do is minimize the program, open up your game, open up your application, do whatever it is you want to do. And then once you finish playing your game, simply exit out of it, go back to the program by maximizing it, hitting default, and then going ahead and exiting out of the program. Now, assuming we're actually done with every single step within inside of this guide and we're good to go ahead and play our game, what we're going to be doing is booting into time resolution, hitting maximum, minimizing time resolution, going back to Steam, and then all there is left to do is go ahead and press play. And there you guys have it, my Ultimate FPS Increase guide for Conan Exiles. If I have missed out anything or you guys know any tips or tricks that I might have missed out in this video and which you might find significant, please do let me know down in that comment section down below, alongside any results, questions, queries, or suggestions, as it's always fantastic to hear from you guys. As always, guys, if you are happy with the results of this video, please do like, share it around with any friends, family, or anyone that you might be playing Conan Exiles with that can benefit from the performance increases from this guide, or just further optimize their PC. If you are happy with the results, please do press a like on this video as it helps me out tremendously. And if you guys do enjoy content like this, please do press that subscription button and the notification bell. Again, for any of you guys who frequently follow my content and appreciate what I do and wish to further support me, the Patreon link is in the description down below as well. That's completely optional, it's not necessary, and it's only there for you guys who wish to further support the work in which I do. With that being said, guys, thank you very much for watching this video. I've been Panjno, and I am out.